It started when an alien device did what it did.
It stuck itself upon his wrist with secrets that it hid.
Now he's got superpowers. He's no ordinary kid.
He's Ben 10. Hello, everybody. This is. I was thinking about doing a Christmas special, but then I realized something. 20 years ago, Ben 10 came out. I'm like, well, I got to talk about that because, that's more important to me. Just than doing another, just an average Christmas special. Everybody does those, but not many people get their niece and nephew with them to talk about a 20-year-old TV show.
Cartoon.
Yeah. Same thing.
That was TV to us.
Yeah, it was cinema.
Cinema.
Yeah, so welcome to the channel. I'm your host, CPH. This is my nephew, Jade, my niece, Taylor. Say hi, everybody.
Hello.
Alright, so you kind of know what we're talking about now. We're talking about a 20-year-old kid's cartoon because every YouTuber does that now. So I just wanted to throw my hat in the ring, see what I could do with this. I've got a sort of structure with this video, like maybe a skeleton at best, but we got something to follow at least. So we'll do I've sent them out some discussion questions just to see what they thought of, what they remembered about this show, because they hadn't seen it in a while. So, I actually hadn't rewatched it till just recently, so I hadn't seen it in a long time. So we'll break for just a second to do that, and then we'll come back to you. Sound good?
Sounds good.
Hello, welcome back. We're going to do the discussion questions now, and since this has been 10 video, I thought 10 questions would be appropriate. So I'm going to defer to my notes a little bit. This time I try not to do that, but I got a lot to remember today, so just going to do my best here. So since I asked them to rewatch as much of the show as they could in the time that I gave them. I only gave them like a month.
2 days.
Yeah. So next time if we do something like this, I'll give you like at least 2 months to watch it.
Yeah.
Because I understand time crunch and everything, but this was kind of a just experiment video anyway, so I want to see if we could do it. But so for our first question here, what did you guys remember about Ben 10 before you rewatched it? And Taylor, we'll start with you.
I remembered, obviously he had 10 aliens in his watch, and not quite certain how he found that, but that he's with his cousin and his grandpa like all the time. They're fighting aliens and stuff.
Okay.
Before I rewatched it.
Okay. Jade, what do you want to add?
I remembered the concurrent theme throughout the whole show of him and Gwen just not getting along and constantly bickering.
Mm-hmm.
That, and then there were 2 of the aliens that I remember. The fire guy, I cannot remember his name, and then the one with 4 arms.
The red one.
You'll never guess what his name is.
4 arms. Well, what's the red one?
The fire.
Heat Blast.
Heat Blast, yes.
Okay, I really liked the smart little one.
Gray Matter. Little smart frog guy.
Yeah.
That's the only one's name I can remember is Gray Matter for some reason.
Yeah, they're all funny. We'll go through. We got a question about aliens, so we can go more in depth with that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the main thing I remembered before going into this was just the road trip aspect of it, because it's 2 cousins, their granddad, and they're in a motorhome, and they're going around the United States, and they're in like a different place every episode, which always seemed really cool to me as a kid to do like a whole like statewide trip, everywhere in the United States. Maybe
It'd be a lot cooler if aliens were involved, though.
I mean, people are dangerous, so I mean, I don't know if I want an alien warlord tracking me down, but yeah. Well, anyways, so that we'll try to get through these a little bit quick, but because it's just like kind of quick little questions like that. Do you have a favorite memory associated with Ben 10? And it's perfectly fine if you don't. I had one I wanted to share with you guys, but Jay, do you want to start?
My was collecting the little action figures from Walmart back in the day. I don't know why, but that is a memory that I remember. And you used to bring yours over, and then I would have. I think I only had like 5 of them, but that was a cool memory. Going to the store and looking for them.
Yeah, always looking for the next wave of toys. Like see what they got. They got sometimes they'll do like a new Omnitrix alien. Sometimes they'll do like a new villain character or just another character from the show that hadn't been made yet. It's super fun. Yeah. Sarah, what's yours?
I just remember us like pretending to be the characters and like.
Surely not. That's nothing. That we would never do that as kids.
Yeah, and like playing with like airsoft guns and being like, yeah, just pretending we were them. So.
Well, that definitely doesn't sound like me.
What's your favorite memory?
It's very, very specific because I mean I have a lot of memories associated with the show, but it was. I'll see if you guys remember doing this. We were at the house in Theodosia. It was like 2007, I think, is when it happened. And we watched the premiere of Secret of the Omnitrix, the movie, the animated film that was like the series
on
finale.
Cable TV.
Yeah, on my TV in my room.
I remember that. That is a deep cut right there.
Yeah.
Goodness.
But yeah.
You even know the time. That's impressive.
I mean, I've got the date in my notes, but I'm like, yeah, you guys get the point. It's 2007.
We get it.
We're good. But yeah, just watching that unfold because it was such an event, on the channel and everything.
Yeah.
Whenever Cartoon Network would air Ben 10 stuff, it was always an event. So they did that. We watched the movie. We learned that we found the creator of the Omnitrix. We got a new alien. The Taylor actually name dropped before Ben said it on screen, which I thought was hilarious.
What was it?
Way big.
Way big.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't remember that.
He's the alien that's like 100 feet tall. That just
He is way big.
I said that.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Ben literally said it a few seconds later, and I was just like, way to go. Good to go.
A lot of the characters are kind of on the nose.
Yeah. Well, they're named by a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
So they
have to be.
Of course they would be.
No, I'm just a child prodigy.
Child genius, yes.
Yes. That was never the question. We all knew.
Okay, do you have any other memories before we want to move on?
That's what I've got.
Okay. So did you guys misremember anything? Like whenever you started rewatching it and you watched something from a long time ago and you're like, wait, I thought this happened this way and then no, wait, it actually happened this way. Taylor, I think we're on you next, I think.
Yeah, I think that I forgot that, like, I forgot how it all happened. Like, I forgot that his grandpa was, like, a part of, like, alien hunters or whatever, and the plumbers.
The plumbers.
Yeah, and I forgot about that, and so I didn't really know what the origin story was.
You got to experience it all over again.
Yeah.
But that's kind of cool with a rewatch, so many years later, you forget certain things. Jay, what do you got? Anything?
I forgot that Ben and Gwen are not brother and sister. They are cousins.
Because they argue like brother and sister.
Yes. And I definitely thought when I was going into, oh yeah, Ben and Gwen are cousins. And then they're brother and sister. And then the very first episode, they're like, here's your cousin Gwen. She's coming with us. And he's like, oh, brother, or whatever he says. And I was like, I really thought they were brother and sister.
But he does have a sister. Like a baby sister, right?
Ben, no. Gwen has an older brother, but we don't meet him till later.
Got it.
spoilers, everybody. I mean,
It's 20 years. Get with the times.
yeah. Okay, I do have some to add to that, just very quick, because I thought it was funny. Because I'm like, whenever we were kids, you two would definitely not know anything about bickering with each other or
Yeah.
anything. But the funny thing is, me and my cousin Haley on my dad's side were like that.
Okay.
So
Bigger.
so you guys had the sibling dynamic, but then I had the cousin dynamic with Haley.
Yeah.
We'd always like fight and yell at each other. Always when no one was looking, but we'd always like get into it.
Yeah. We got into it whether people were looking or not. Right, you.
Sorry, I was making a noise. I was trying to figure out what it was. Okay, so something I did misremember is the Gwen storyline with magic.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I remembered she got magic in the first series, but I didn't remember when it happened because I thought that it happened really early in the show.
Yeah.
Technically she gets the little charm thingy.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to show that, you can. There you go. Yeah, and just like she gets the charm thingy, and she gets luck powers because of it. So she becomes a superhero alongside Ben, which is really cool. But then she loses that thing, and then it's like, oh, she doesn't have powers anymore. But then it's like kind of hinting that she might have some kind of abilities. And then later on, she gets a different one that also shows that she can do stuff still. And they planted the seeds, like they really hinted at it for like 2 seasons.
Easter egg.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not until season 3 that she actually gets the spell book from Charmcaster. That's when she actually starts to learn and use magic effectively instead of just like by instinct and stuff. Okay, shall we move on?
Ready?
Moving on.
Okay. So this next question is, what was your relationship with the show back in the day? And Jay, we'll start with you.
I mean, I didn't watch it as much, As a kid, I was real into video games and basketball. But it was a great way to bond with you, I think. When you would come down, we would always watch it. And like I said, we would collect the toys and, have our little battles with them.
Yeah.
So I guess it was just a bonding experience with you.
Yeah.
Whenever you were in town. So that's what I would say.
Okay. And Taylor, what you got?
I feel like it kind of was the beginning of like me liking science fiction stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I was really young and I really find aliens and like science fiction and all those kinds of things very interesting now. So I feel like that was probably like the beginning of that for me.
Yeah, it's a show that balances like science fiction, magic, technology, and like human history and like all these different things. Like as the franchise goes along, gets a lot deeper with things. But even with the first show, it really like it at least like teases you with things that you're like, oh, maybe there's more to be discovered later than what you reveal in the first series. But that's one of the appealing things about it is I think that just like if you like fantasy in general, I think you'd probably like it if you I mean it was made for us as we were kids, but there's a lot to appreciate with it as adults, like just the writing and the art style and animation and all that. I've actually talked to a lot of people that didn't watch it whenever they were kids, like us, but they got into it as adults and they really liked all the shows.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool that there's like a generational thing too, where it's like not just the people that grew up with it that like it. It's people that have discovered it much later that they still like it.
It's a good show.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your relationship with it?
Oh, it's one of my top 3 cartoons.
Really?
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when I look back at things that influenced me with my creativity and stuff, it's like Ben 10 was for like the hard science fiction, like alien stuff.
Mhm.
Samurai Jack was like the fantasy stuff and time travel and that kind of thing. And then Ed, and Eddie was comedy. Like that's like that. Those are probably my top three.
That's a really good three.
But yeah, it's still in very high regard. I probably wasn't that well spoken back then, or I could say, oh yeah, it was in my top three. You know.
Yeah.
That's with adult context, but
Yeah.
I'm like, just looking back at it, I think that was probably where I would put it, somewhere in the on the podium or whatever you want to say, whatever sports metaphor you want to make.
Kid code name or kid, what is it?
Codename.
Code name Kids Next Door.
Well, I said that's top three. I mean, there's like top 5 and top 10 where I could fill it out if we want to. If you want a video sometime in the future, me talking about like my top 10 cartoons, just let me know.
Yeah.
You know? Okay, so we'll move on to the next one. Now that you've done at least, we watched about half the series in your rewatch.
Mhm.
What do you guys think of it now? Taylor, are we on you now? I think.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's a good show. It's interesting. I think that, younger generations would find it interesting. It's not outdated. I think it's a good show.
Yeah. And I do want to say it's kind of funny that the series, they've canonically said that it takes place in the summer of 2005 in their universe.
Mhm.
So it's just kind of funny that there's some later stuff where they go to the future. It's 20 years in the future and they see their adult selves.
Yeah.
That would be this year.
Yeah.
In their timeline.
That's good. That's crazy.
Okay, so Jay, what's your feelings about the show as an adult watching it?
I mean, kind of piggybacking off of Taylor, it does kind of hold the test of time. If you watch that show today as a kid, you would feel just like a kid in 2005 watching it. I mean, it doesn't. It's universal in that it's a good show for any kid to watch or adult. I mean, it's got comedy in there for adults and younger kids. And I always go back to the bickering storyline. It's just so darn relatable.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a parent watching it and you're like, oh my gosh, other people have this problem too.
Yeah.
It's a good solid show. So
Okay, so just briefly for my thoughts about it, as an adult, it's one of the fictional things I think about the most. That just whenever my brain is wandering in Fantasyland, I'm thinking about the Ben 10 universe. It's weird that even more than Star Wars and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just like Star Wars, I'm kind of over it now. Or I'm well, Ben 10, I'm like, hey, there's still stuff to think about. There's still mysteries that they didn't solve, and all these things that they put in the series and maybe didn't follow up on. You're like, hey, wonder what happened to that and that guy and that guy.
It's kind of like the kids' version of X-Files.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Yeah, because it's like this alien science fiction mystery. I don't know, mystery. I think I'd put it in the genre too, because it's an action series, sci-fi series, but mystery too.
mm-hmm.
But we get more into that in the later shows as more and more solid mystery episodes. But yeah, just our starting off point. Okay, so now we move on to the next one. Who is your favorite main character of the trio? So Jade, go ahead.
Ben 10.
All right. Makes sense. If you want to elaborate on it, you can. You can just state
It's
it if
just
you want.
so cool that he has access to, in this portion of the show, 10 aliens. That's just really awesome. And as a kid, you just fantasize about, man, I wish that was me.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of sucks that he doesn't have control of whenever it stops, but
We'll get there. We'll get there.
it's really cool.
He'll get there
Just his
eventually.
whole character is really cool. So that's my favorite.
He'd be too overpowered as a 10-year-old, where if he literally could control everything.
Yeah.
So I think that's...
Yeah, I guess so.
You got to throw conflict in there.
Yeah.
Okay, Taylor, what do you think?
My favorite character is Gwen. She's just iconic. I mean, yeah, I like her the most. I think she's funny. I think she, has appropriate reactions. Yeah, I like her. She's the best.
Mm-hmm. And well, audience, I'm sure you can't figure out who my favorite character is. That definitely not by how I'm dressed or anything, or being the elder of the group, but Max.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like Jay, you mentioned earlier, how older generations, older people can watch the show and kind of relate to things.
Yeah.
You relate a lot to Max, especially as we get older. Just like he's retirement age, and he's just trying to spend time with his grandkids and trying to be a mediator when there's an argument, and try to keep everybody safe when there's a crazy alien attack or something happening, and hiding the truth about his past from his whole family, basically, is crazy. Not all of his family. Some of his family are also plumbers, but that's really interesting to watch as like a rewatch all these years later. Is like all the little hints of what his backstory is before the season 1 ends, and that's when Vilgax comes, and he's fought Vilgax before, like 30 years or something like that, like way in the past.
In his prime.
Yeah. That's just something that I hear a lot of people say, like that we want a Max prequel show, we want a Max Tennyson centric story or something, like you still do the other Ben 10 stuff, but do something Max centric occasionally.
Yeah.
That
like a flashback at least.
Yeah. And they do flashback episodes throughout the franchise at least. Like just you see some backstory here and there. Okay, so just to keep moving on here, we're going to go to the villains. And I have 2 choices for my favorite villains. From the villains you remember, are we on Taylor or Jade at this point?
I think it's
Taylor. Okay, Taylor, what's your favorite villain?
My favorite villain is Kevin 11 when he was evil.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I think that his character arc is kind of crazy.
Mm-hmm. Especially once we get past the original series, but we're not going to go into spoiler territory, those who haven't seen it, but yeah, Kevin's pretty solid as a pick. I like how he's kind of just like he almost becomes friends with Ben and Gwen at the beginning, but then he's like, oh yeah, he's actually kind of crazy.
He's actually, psychotic,
Yeah, kid with powers that don't make any sense, but we'll get to that eventually. And then it's like, oh, it's Kevin on the episode, it's Kevin 11. Oh, that's funny, because Ben 10 is like, oh, so he's naturally the rival character. Because after he gets his, touches the watch a little bit, gets some energy from that. And he can kind of do the same things as Ben, but not as smoothly, not as effectively. But
doesn't execute them well.
Yeah. So that's a solid pick. Jay, what you got?
I would probably say Vilgax.
Okay.
He just looks like a villain.
Yeah.
He fits the perfect role of villain. He looks like Davy Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, Vilgax.
Davy Jones from
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, no, I just mean like from the future or something. Like robotic.
That is the ideal looking villain for me.
Cyberpunk Davy Jones.
Yeah. How about you?
I had a couple of them. I had a feeling one of you guys would take one of them, so I thought ahead. But mine. I think like arc villain, like where there's a whole series of episodes devoted to Vilgax, personally. But my favorite villain who just shows up like in every season, Dr. Animo.
Okay, yeah.
Because I love mad scientists. And I love this guy because he is so petty. Like, he becomes a supervillain and mutates an army of animals because he didn't get an award as a veterinarian.
Yeah.
Just, I'm like, you know what? I respect that level of pettiness.
Yeah.
And then when Ben stops him in that episode, he swears vengeance and he hunts down a 10-year-old for the rest of the summer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Kind of like whenever I watch the new Sonic movies, Jim Carrey's Robotnik, kind of a similar energy to.
You're chasing a hedgehog.
Well, just chasing a small thing that ruins your plans.
Yeah, it's very Scooby-Doo style of.
Yeah. And your little dog.
And your little dog, yeah.
Yeah. Something funny, I just want to mention his voice actor that plays Dr. Animo. He's played him in literally every incarnation. And throughout the whole original series, the reboots, all the video games.
Good for him.
Like he always plays him. And the funny thing is, do you remember the show Chowder?
Yeah.
Yes.
He voiced Mung Dahl in that show.
Which one's Mung Dahl?
Dang, he's making the money.
The chef, with the big nose, that Chowder's his apprentice.
Yeah.
But
I love the chef. He's so funny.
But just sometimes when he yells at Chowder, I can kind of hear Dr. Animo coming through a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think that's funny that those were airing like around the same time.
Yeah.
Just two very different characters. But I like me a mad scientist, so if I'm going to choose a human villain, that's who I would go with. Because also, I was kind of thinking like, really, really dark timeline, this could be me. Could be because I love like studying genetics and like animals and everything. I'm like, see, if I was just a little more twisted.
You just didn't have anything to create your villain arc.
Yeah.
No.
I didn't have a 10-year-old ruin my life.
Yeah.
Also, yes. Dr. Animo's old. He's like an old guy. So
time.
Yeah. Yeah, and also the first episode, he reanimates a Tyrannosaurus Rex and rides it through Washington, D.C., which is like the coolest thing I'd ever seen as a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I like this guy. I know he's a bad guy, but he's awesome.
He's a likable bad guy.
Yeah. And the fact that he just consistently gets beaten by a 10-year-old every time he shows up.
Yeah.
It's just...
I mean, it's like, what's his face from The Fairly Odd Parents? Like... Crocker, yeah. Yeah.
I was thinking of Doofenshmirtz, but that's Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, but similar.
But also mad scientist. Okay, so now we'll get maybe into a broader section here. We're going to talk about the actual Omnitrix aliens. So if you don't remember a name, just describe them. I'll help you. I'll help you with that part.
But as you're describing them, you'll probably say their name. Like I did earlier.
Okay, so
the one with 4 arms.
So villains, we started with Taylor, so we'll start with Jade. What's your...
I think it is 4 arms. He's strong. He's hideous.
He's strong.
Got 4 arms,
He's
4
got
eyes.
4 arms, 4 eyes. He looks like half a spider. I think he's cool.
I think one of the main influences on him was Goro from Mortal Kombat. Remember that mini-boss character has giant 4 arms?
Yeah.
I think
I see that.
I think that was one of the inspirations.
He kind of also reminds me of Geodude a little bit from Pokemon.
Yeah.
Or not Geodude.
Which one?
Megachomp. The one that's got 4 arms.
Is it Megachamp? Is that the big
Megachamp.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see that. I mean, he's like a wrestler, kind of.
Yeah.
Like a giant
As a brawler.
Yeah. And apparently he's 12 feet tall whenever he transforms, so I was like, How's he getting through those tight spaces?
Yeah, it's either that one or the dog.
Wild Mutt.
Wild Mutt, yeah. I feel like there's a lot of funny episodes when he turns into Wild Mutt. And
Yeah, the one where he got sick.
yeah, he gets sick, and but he's a blind dog, and so yeah, those are my two favorites. I know you asked for one, but
Well, it's okay. I've got my favorite, and I've got what other ones I'll mention.
they're all good.
Well,
Depends on your definition of good.
yeah.
Isn't there one that flies?
There's a few. So, Jade, you'll say forearms and say honorable mention, Wild Mutt.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So if you want to do that too, or your favorite, and it's like another one you want to mention.
My favorite is Gray Matter.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's smart and funny and adorable.
Mhm.
And then my second favorite, Heat Ray.
Fire alien,
Yes,
heat blast.
Heat
Okay.
Blast.
There you go.
Sorry, honorable mention Heat Blast.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
And I just want to mention a couple of things about those two aliens. Gray Matter, I think, is the only alien from this series that has his own musical theme.
Okay.
Like literally in every scene he's in, it's like wow, wow, wow. In the background. It's like this funny little techno music that is playing. It's always when he's like getting chased or like having to go through a tight squeeze or something.
Yeah.
Just
The sound effects.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But and Heat Blast, to those who haven't seen the show, he's the first alien.
Mhm.
He's the first one that Ben turns into, and he figures he gets the watch and causes a forest fire.
Smokey the Bear would be disappointed.
You too can sit. What is it? Only you can stop forest fires.
Yeah.
Wildfires.
Okay, so you got any others you want to mention, or am I good to go?
Oh, you're good.
It's all you.
Okay, Diamond Head.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
He's just like, I think, because I'm one of those people who likes a character that has a power that is like only limited by your imagination.
Mm-hmm.
And Diamond Head's like kind of like what Green Lantern is in DC Comics, where he can build constructs out of energy.
Mhm.
And that Diamond Head can do that just out of his body, like
Yeah.
creating diamond constructs. And
It's like the Earthbenders from Avatar.
yeah. There's even a part where Aang actually like puts like diamonds to himself as armor. I remember that happening once. Yeah, so Diamond Head I like because he's not the strongest guy. He's not as strong as forearms, but he's got the like near invulnerability,
Which
where,
is
like,
incredible for someone made out of diamond.
I mean, diamonds are hard, so it's not literally diamonds, but I mean, he's a rock dude. He's got like literally it just blasts and stuff just bounce off of them.
Yeah.
And the fact he can turn his hands and stuff into weapons,
Yeah.
and he can shoot projectiles out of his body too.
That's pretty cool.
And the Forever Knights, I feel like I was watching an episode about that and their name was Enoch. And I'm just like, how ironic. Biblical references.
Okay. I didn't know where exactly you were going with that statement, but okay.
Forever Knights, Enoch, biblical reference.
We'll get there. We can talk about that later. Okay, but honorable mention, like Diamond Head has always been my favorite one. When it was just the original 10, I would have said Wild Mutt as my honorable mention. But thinking about the whole series in context, it's the newer aliens or the Halloween aliens,
Okay.
which that's been Wolf, been Mummy, been Victor, so it's Werewolf, Mummy, and Frankenstein as aliens. Because I've always liked the classic monsters. And I was like, oh, what if they were like from a distant galaxy where all these creatures resembled things from movies, but they're in this universe, they're actually a whole species that you can go to their planet and see what their world is like, and that kind of thing. They go more into those aliens later on in the franchise, but just saying that I said those from a creative standpoint, I just like how you took such a classic concept of monsters and just made them into aliens that you could transform into, and they all have different cool powers associated. So I was like, that's just neat. You clearly tell like what the creators of the show liked. They just put like little references to things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so we're almost done with the discussion part, but here's second to last one. What is your favorite storyline? We had Jade last time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Taylor, let's go ahead.
My favorite storyline is Gwen and how she is part alien.
Spoilers.
Sorry.
Again,
You
it's
asked.
been 20 years.
Okay, well, maybe we can say like just her magic in the first series.
I guess Gwen just like finding her magic in the first series.
Don't worry, we'll have that discussion one day. We can talk about all the even deeper lore that we go into later in the series. But right now, she's just a sorceress. That's all she can do. That's definitely all. That's definitely all that is to that character. Nothing else to be revealed later.
Absolutely nothing.
Yeah. But yeah, I do like the whole adding magic into the stuff because, they talk about it, or Max says it at one point, where with the plumbers, they deal with just like supernatural things, like things that can't be explained normally.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, yeah, aliens are part of that, but there's also magic and stuff too. So it makes sense that they would also deal with those kind of things. Do you have anything else? Any other non-spoilery things you want to say?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to wrap these parts up. So go ahead, Jay. What's your storyline?
I think the whole Max being a plumber is a very cool storyline. You don't often hear of kids growing up, I want to be a plumber when I grow up.
Yeah.
But then you find out what plumber means in this scenario, and you're like, okay, maybe I want to be a plumber growing up. I think it's just really cool that he calls himself a plumber, and plumber is actually an alien hunter type of job. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah, I just want to take a second to appreciate that choice, the name choice is so funny. Because like nobody questions it if you say I'm a plumber.
I'm a licensed plumber.
But then when you think about it, like what plumbers do in real life, they go into places that nobody else goes into. They plug leaks. They make sure that only the things that are supposed to be seen are seen. They're
dealing with drain aliens.
Yeah.
Drain monsters.
Yeah. Pennywise. They're going to fight Pennywise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was so cool because it's stuff that nobody would look twice at. That's like blending in perfectly to society. Just thinking, they're just plumbers, and it's like, they do plumbing stuff around the world. It's fine. He might have a contract job over on another continent. It wouldn't be a big thing. He's definitely not doing anything else. Yeah. Good choices all around. This one is something it really took me a second to think about, but it's a storyline that I never really like pieced together how well it's executed.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the whole storyline in this series where, in season 2, where Kevin is the arc villain, but you don't realize it because the episodes are like split up.
Mm-hmm.
But then the finale, it's him teaming up with Vilgax from the first season. Yeah. So it's like, I really like how they did that. How it's like in a power escalation. Like he absorbs some of the watch in season 1, but it looks like his powers are gone. But then at the end of the episode, you see him like spark flames with his hand.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh wait, he still has some of the power.
Mm-hmm.
Then you figure out, oh no, he had all of them. They just hadn't manifested yet. And then he's framing Ben for all the things, all these crimes, using his aliens.
Yeah.
Like, using all his powers. And then he turns into a giant alien Frankenstein monster with like 4 arms body, like heat blast arm, diamond head arm, wild mutt arms, accelerate tail, and
Goodness.
yeah, I was like, that's a wicked design.
Yeah.
Like that's really cool. I see how that inspired so many people that watch this show.
Uh-huh.
It's like they like drawing aliens and monsters and like, oh, we could fuse these things together to like make them crazy looking. And there's a whole lot of that in this fandom. If you guys didn't know that like they're coming up with fusions of different things. I think Kevin was one of the first things that like
their first iteration of
put that in our heads. Like, oh, we could fuse these powers together.
Yeah.
Do even more crazy things with it. But I just like, because I guess I could have said this when I'm misremembering things.
Mm-hmm.
But in season 2, I remember season 1, Vilgax, main villain.
Mm-hmm.
Then he goes away for a while. Then season 2, I was thinking Monster of the Week, kind of. Like there's just a bunch of like one-off episodes.
Yeah.
But then when I rewatched it, I was like, wait, no. There's like 3 episodes devoted to Kevin.
Yeah.
Where he comes back with Ben's powers, and then he mutates into the Golem thing, and they fight in the space arena in one episode, and then he teams up with Vilgax. So I was like, no, that's a full arc there that I didn't even clock it.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I really appreciate that kind of subtlety with storytelling, stuff you don't notice until you really think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll move on to the last of our discussion questions. Do you have a favorite single episode? And it can be just ones that you've seen and you rewatch, or just ones that you vaguely remember. Like, who are we on now?
I think it's me.
I think so too.
Okay, Jade, go ahead.
The Spark episode, or the one with the little tiny polarity guy.
What, the battery alien thing? Yeah.
Yes.
Megawatts.
Don't touch it. Don't take a picture of it. Come see it. Like the whole vagueness of the whole episode. And then it's just this giant rubber ball band. And it becomes this goofy, this is it. It's a polarity alien that is like electric, or that whole episode. Like I didn't remember watching that as a kid, and then I'm watching the episode and it just keeps saying, come see it. You're 4 miles from it. It. And then it's this little, and then they break the ball. Did you touch it? You let it out. And then it's just a whole crazy episode.
Yeah, and talking about the whole like road trip aspect of it, just the episode's literally called Tourist Trap.
Yeah,
I always thought that was a funny title.
Yeah,
because it's like a double meaning. It's like because it's just this little town that has all these weird things that are like world record holders.
Yeah,
things, and then the world's largest rubber band ball has an electronic alien inside it that if you use an electronic device near it, it could wake it up and it would come out and cause mayhem.
Yeah.
Also, that kind of feels like a Ben 10 riff on Gremlins because he escapes from the ball, and then at one point he duplicates.
Yeah.
When he gets more electricity, he like turns into like an army of little guys.
And then they create the biggest light bulb in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite episode. I found that one funny.
Yeah, and I respect that. That's not an episode many people would say. Like, a lot of people are just like, it's just whatever, like just.
I appreciated the comedy of that episode.
Yeah. And I also like how it's like, Gwen, don't confess to anything.
Yeah.
Immediately when things go wrong, Ben confesses.
Yeah.
He broke it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Taylor, what's your episode that you remember really liking?
The one with Morningstar.
That's later.
That's not in the same season.
No, that's not in this series.
That's the one I liked the most.
It's okay.
What's an honorable mention? Do you have another one?
We'll get there.
What about the Kevin 11 episode?
Yeah. My favorite, though? I don't know. Dang, I'm upset.
I'm sorry.
I was so prepared.
I got the episode list if you want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
I can go if you want me to. We can give you a sec. You want me to go ahead?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I think this one, it's the season 2 finale, which is where Kevin and Vilgax team up, and Ben unlocks master control in the Omnitrix, so he can phase through all of them.
Yeah.
With just a thought. Such a crazy level of action in this one episode. It's one of those where you watch it, it's like 20 minutes, but you watch it, it feels like a film.
Yeah.
It feels like you watch, because it had so many action-packed sequences and so much fun put into it, because it's like Ben's just screwing around with all the master control, just go boop, 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 just going from alien to alien to alien, just annoying his family. And, But then, boom! His 2 biggest villains from the past 2 seasons show up, and now they're gonna take the Omnitrix and murder him. Probably. I think the idea was Vilgax takes the watch, and then Kevin murders him.
Yeah.
But then we get introduced to the Null Void in that episode, which is really big and important, because it's the alternate dimension where, things that are too dangerous to contain on Earth, the plumbers would send to this other dimension full of dangerous other life that's there. Kind of like if you guys are Superman fans, like Phantom Zone and all these Negative Zone and Marvel, it's kind of like that. Just a pocket dimension that they have access to with technology. They can just open a portal and send something there. I think that's it. Back with a Vengeance is what that episode's called, and that's the one I'd recommend. If you're at all curious about the show and what it's like, I'd like to show them that episode, and to see if if it interests them at all, then watch the show, because it doesn't. You won't get everything when you watch it because you haven't seen the series, but it's they just throw so much at you in 20 minutes. It's there's probably something in there that would interest you if you're interested. If you're more likely to be interested in it, then that would probably help you see that. So do you?
Yeah. Okay. So the one called Divided We Stand, where Ditto is introduced.
Oh yeah.
That one's really funny. I really like that episode.
Yeah, Ditto is. That's a very funny alien because he's actually an Animaniacs reference, with his voice and his design. He's actually based off of one of the Animaniac characters. So I was when he showed up, I was oh, that's funny. And then he just starts duplicating and causing mischief. And also Dr. Animo's in that episode.
So that's a Zach favorite too.
Yeah. Yeah. Good picks all around, I have to say. Okay, so do we want to take a break and just regain our ourselves for a few minutes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll move on to the next section. We'll talk about. I think we talked about the characters enough, honestly. Maybe just go more into. I'll go to the storylines. I think we can go.
I think
there.
we talked about the characters and villains pretty thoroughly.
I got more to say about some of them, but we can do that as I'm talking about the seasons overall.
Okay.
So we'll take a little break and just regroup and meet you there. Okay. Sound good? Hello and welcome back. We're here to just go over the overall story of the show and just the character arcs and everything. And then see if what you guys remember from this, just to see what. I know you guys got through like season 2, but I just want to see if you guys remember stuff past that. But so we got season 1. I've got made little titles for each of them, just because I don't know if they have official titles or not. But first season, Vilgax Rising, or the Hunt for the Omnitrix, which pretty simple. It's really like Vilgax is chasing down the ship that has the Omnitrix. It sends it to Earth, and then Ben finds it. And then Vilgax gets basically blown up in the space battle, and he's injured he's in like a healing tube through the whole season, and then he comes back with his, where is that? I have the figure here somewhere. I didn't like to grab him.
What?
Vilgax figure, I think it's back here somewhere.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah. Comes back as the beefy boy after he spends a whole season healing. Which I gotta say, there's not a whole lot of shows that would do that, like to the main villain. Like you establish that they're a threat, and then you immediately nerf them and make them like badly injured, where they have to heal for a season. But there is another show that did that, Transformers Animated, which was also coming on around the same time as Ben 10.
Mm-hmm.
They did that with Megatron, where he's chasing the Autobots in the first episode, and then Starscream betrays him, blows him up.
Mm-hmm.
But then he crash lands on Earth, and by the end of season 1, he's rebuilt himself, basically. I think there may have been some shared writers on those two shows, honestly, but I thought that's a neat way of doing a season 1, like just not what you would expect exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But a few memorable moments. There's the episode where Vilgax sends the 3 bounty hunters after Ben in the desert, where it's get introduced to. Funny thing is, they don't mention his name in the first episode. But then when he shows up in the movie at the end of the series, they're like, "Hey, Tetrax!"
Yeah.
I'm just like even the toy.
We were supposed to know this.
Even the toy didn't have his name on it, so I was like, "What's his? He had a name?
Who is this guy? Diamond Head 2?"
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That there was that you actually got to see other versions of Ben's aliens, like as other characters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Tetrax is one in a long line of characters that are really cool, and they only show up like 2 or 3 times. But he helps Ben out because he's not actually working for Vilgax. He's trying to stop Vilgax. Backstory later. We can get there. But then we have where Gwen gets the charm that gives her luck, that she steals from a magician that is like the magical Infinity Stones, kind of, that ends up stopping him, but then he comes back later too, just as a recurring villain for her. Hex is his name. But there's a lot of like one-off episodes, like you mentioned earlier, Jay, with Tourist Trap, where just like some of them are plot relevant, but some of them just aren't.
Yeah.
They're just meant to be like one-off adventures. Like, do you guys remember the Body Snatchers episode with the slime aliens
Yes.
at the retirement village?
Yes.
That was really weird watching that.
Yeah.
On the
and then it
rewatch.
morphs into one giant slime alien.
Yeah, I was like, that's just a really weird out there episode. It's
Yeah.
only like number 4-ish.
Yeah.
I'm like that's crazy. They just did that. Also a Tennyson family member that they introduced that doesn't show up again till like Omniverse, I think.
Yeah.
We don't see her for
Yeah.
like a character you forget exists.
What's the candies that she has?
It's like coffee flavored.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, as a kid, I was like, that'd definitely be gross.
Yeah.
As an adult, I might like it though. Yeah, and then we get the whole like the whole. I'm gonna mention this later, so I'm not just branching off of this for no reason. But then there's the sick episode, like we were mentioning earlier, side effects where Ben gets sick and all of his aliens are adversely affected. But he fights the bug guy, and that
Yep.
with the controls like every kind of insect and everything. Super gross.
Yeah.
Don't like that character.
Yeah. Reminds me of the roach guy from Men in Black.
Oh yeah. I definitely see that. Edgar, I think is his name.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Just a real vile individual.
Yeah. I feel bad that his house is getting demolition by the city, but I was like, but he's also unleashing swarms of insects on people.
He deserves it.
They were his friends.
Yeah. This is a show that I think tackles like episodic show like stories and like plot episodes really well, where it's not like all of one or all of the other.
There's random bits throughout.
Yeah, and some things you think are like a one-off, they might come back in an unexpected way. Like I just like that you never really know what's important and what isn't. So you kind of watch every episode, put that in mind that this might not seem that important, but it might be important much later.
Yes.
And then you get a little bit of nostalgia. You're like, oh, I remember that thing from the beginning of the series. Back at the end. That's cool. But pretty simple. Then they fight Vilgax, and they go to Mount Rushmore, and there's all of like the plumber base that's hidden under Mount Rushmore. Which I've been to Mount Rushmore, by the way. I did not see any of those openings that are in the cartoon. I was very disappointed.
Dang.
But maybe it was all holograms, like it's all hidden, just like in the show.
Yeah.
Because in more than one instance, there's a fight on that base, and the faces of the presidents get destroyed.
Oh goodness.
And because I think it's Teddy Roosevelt that they're fighting on top, like Ben and Vilgax are fighting on top of his head. Vilgax just punches it and just breaks. So then they just make like a hologram of the original, the original monument. That was funny. I just thought that was funny. They're just destroying landmarks in this fight. Yeah. But then it looks like Vilgax is beaten, and then they end the season with the line, "Grandpa, we need to talk." Because I always thought that was funny. Because like Gwen was with Grandpa through all of this. She saw like him opening all like the base and everything, and seeing all the alien technology, but Ben wasn't during. He was just fighting Vilgax and trying not to die in that whole episode. But then he sees his grandpa take the RV and ram it through a spaceship. Just from his perspective, that's kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
Where he doesn't know all that about Grandpa. So at the end, he's like, "Yeah, Grandpa, we should talk." explain what just happened.
Yeah.
But do we want to move on to the next season? Do you guys have any highlights you want to do?
Not that I can think of.
Okay. I'm trying to be concise to like explain all the, like just the bare minimum like important things that happen in it. So then we get season 2, which was really interesting. I remember watching it because it like I said earlier, I always thought it was like a monster of the week kind of because I guess you really never knew what was going to happen in season 2 because then we get introduced to the extra aliens. We figure out, oh, there's not just 10 aliens in the Omnitrix. There's a lot more, actually. We get Cannon Bolts and Wildvine this season. I think I've got them.
I like Wildvine.
Yeah. Just want to show them. Did bring these for props. I might as well use them. So we get Wildvine and Cannonbolt for this. They get added to the deck, so to speak.
Yeah.
Which I think that episode, the episode with those two, like both of their intro episodes are really insane when you stop and think about them. Because they basically stop the apocalypse in both of them. Like with Cannonbolt, the giant alien parasite crash lands and starts to destroy the Earth from within. And then he unlocks Cannonbolt and has to figure out how to use his powers to fight back, and ends up killing the giant alien, which is like a giant tick. It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross.
But it's basically mutating and like destroying the planet from within. You see all the environment around them changing. So I'm just imagining if you're a normal person on the other side of the planet and everything just starts mutating and changing, and how'd they cover that up? I really don't know how you would hide certain things in this show.
Like with the Men in Black,
yeah,
whatever it's called.
Yeah, do you remember what those are called? I can't think of the.
I cannot remember.
Is it Neuralizer?
Yeah, it is.
Maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that is something that is similar to this. Like this show, I think definitely had some inspiration from Men in Black because that's kind of what the plumbers are. They just don't dress in suits.
Yeah.
Literally.
That's the.
They dress in Hawaiian outfits.
Yeah.
They dress like plumbers.
Yeah, they have the whole suit and the like oxygen mask and everything. But yeah, so Cannonbolt's episode, giant tick nearly kills the planet, and then they kill it, and then everything just goes back to normal, like nothing happens.
Yeah.
And then in Wildvine's episode, they're at the summer camp. They find this abandoned summer camp where there's only like a few kids there. That because everybody got taken by something, and they're trying to figure it out. And there's all these mushrooms, like giant mushrooms everywhere, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. That was this giant like mushroom brain under the ground that woke up whenever the construction was going on above it. So it spread out after they unleashed it, and
The spores.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like a giant mushroom hive mind thing where it's like all these different creatures and fungus that it can come alive and use as part of its body. And then Wildvine is like beating the thing, and then he times out before he can kill it. So you're like, oh no, what's going to happen? And then he throws foot fungus powder down its throat. Which was really funny.
Yeah.
Did it work?
Mm-hmm.
Tough acting. What did he say? Boom! Tough acting tonight. Type.
Yeah, that was funny because it was set up earlier in the episode that everybody always got athlete's foot at their camp.
Yeah.
So they had like all this medicine for that.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, that's what kills all the mushrooms.
That's why they were getting athlete's foot.
Yeah, it's foreshadowing there. Did I mention the show is weird? Did I mention that at all? That the show gets really weird?
That's any good show, though.
Yeah.
There are always a weirdness factor to good shows.
Yep. And then tying into Gwen's storyline, Hex comes back because Gwen finds a keystone, I think is what it's called, but it's the one. It's like the most powerful of the gems that he could use. So even though the other ones were destroyed, if he gets that one and does the ritual with it, he can resurrect them, basically, get all of his powers back. But that episode introduces Charmcaster, who becomes really important for the series, as like Hex will show up sometimes by himself, and then sometimes Charmcaster will show up by herself as villains. But it's like a master and apprentice type thing, where it's like Hex is Sidious and then she's Vader, like that kind of thing. It's just, but I think that's cool that they kind of tease early on that, like, is she actually a bad person or not, or is she like just being manipulated by her uncle? Is she actually good or bad? And but then she uses that to her advantage to trick Gwen at one point and get the keystone from her.
Mm-hmm.
But the funny thing is, whenever Hex is doing the ritual to get all the power back, she steals it from him. So I'm like, see, she's not on anybody's side. She's on her side.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, that's cool. I like a villain that nobody can trust. Like, not on you, not the heroes or even the villains that she's
that
with.
only has themselves in mind. Yeah.
Catwoman type of vibes.
Yeah. Fair point, I think. And then we mentioned him earlier, but this is the arc where Kevin comes back, has all the powers, then gets mutated.
Mm-hmm.
Teams up with Vilgax. Just mentioning that again briefly so people remember that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing, this may be the weirdest episode in the show happens in this season. Or at least it's in the conversation, one of the weirdest ones. Because they just throw this idea at you, and nothing has ever been done like this in the show at this point. They do a what if episode, where what if Ben didn't get the Omnitrix? What if Gwen got it?
Yeah. That episode was cool.
That episode confused me so much as a kid because I'd never seen where comics do like what ifs storylines, and I was like, first of all, there's a narrator, like the action scene's happening, then it freeze frames and it comes out and it's like a comic book panel.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear them, and the narrator's explaining like what's happening, that this is a different universe than the one that we know.
Mm-hmm.
So, really crazy but cool concept they just throw at you. That it's not the only episode that does that in this season or in this show. There's one in the final season that does it too. But that's something I think is cool. Is that so Ben 10 wasn't like an adaptation of comics. Like there wasn't a character that pre-existed.
Right.
But the four guys who did it, the Man of Action group, they all were comic artists before doing Ben 10. So they did a show that is inspired by comics, and but in their own styles, and that's why they have like certain aesthetics where they show it, they storyboard stuff like a comic, like the action scenes and stuff. Which I thought that was really neat when I learned that they like what they worked on previously, and then they applied everything that they learned to make their own story. One really weird inspiration they had, the character Shazam, where he's a 10-year-old kid that says the magic word and he turns into a superhero.
Mm-hmm.
There's an old TV pilot from like the 70s, I think, where it was an adaptation of Shazam but it was the kid that turned into the superhero and an older mentor figure going around the country in an RV. So I was like, I saw some of that. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Some things are lining up here.
Yeah.
Like the Rust Bucket, the RV. Actually, like if you look at the license plate, it's literally the same license plate as the RV from that show.
That's crazy.
So you never know like what they were inspired by. They were inspired by so many different things that they put in there that when you like dissect it, you're like, whoa, like all these different connections you didn't know existed. That I just thought was super cool to learn, like, because any artist I admire, I try to find out what inspired them, like what their biggest influences are. And honestly, I could do a whole series about that, just like videos where just looking at influences of people that I've grown up admiring, just to try to figure out what inspired them. So that's just a future possibility. So maybe if there's interest in that, I'll go into it later. Do we have any other thoughts with season 2? Do we want to move on?
I'm ready to move on.
Okay. You good?
Good.
Okay. So now we move on to season 3, which is really, like, I think more than any of the seasons, this is the one I could tell just from an image. It's from season 3. Because it's the Purple Lightning arc, which is where it introduces all the horror aesthetic aliens, which we didn't mention Ghost Freak in season 2. He becomes sentient, like from within the watch, and escapes, or he becomes his own entity, his own villain. And it looks like Ben beats him by getting him in the sunlight, because his species, unless it has like the skin that the Omnitrix gives him, they can't survive in sunlight. So it looks like they beat him in season 2, but then season 3 comes along. You get this werewolf shows up in New Mexico, and then you get this mummy in the South Carolina, I think it was, on the farmland. And then in Florida and Cape Canaveral, this Frankenstein creature shows up, and then they all are revealed to be a team working together. So I'm like, what the heck is this season? Like, what, just like these random like monster things showing up? And, but then the big twist happens, because they did a 2-part finale, which had never been done in the series before. They never did it like a 2-part episode before. The big reveal is Ghost Freak was their master the whole time, and it was their plan to resurrect him.
That's crazy.
And they bring him back, and then like literally he comes back at the end of part 1, and then he faces off with Ben, and then it cuts to black, and it says "to be continued." I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
Of course.
So I was like, I was so invested, as a kid, like watching, glued to the television, like because I did not expect that twist at all. And I was like, now I have to wait a week. Come on. To the modern audience, you guys get to stream everything in a row. You don't have to wait a week for everything like we used to. But that one, I always know it because they draw. It seems like every episode is drawn like darker than everything, because it's kind of like thematic, telling like foreshadowing what's coming in it. Even one episode, they go into a video game by accident, because the like Ben's playing the game on his computer or whatever, or on Gwen's computer, and then they're like trying to play together, but they keep arguing. And then he turns into Upgrade and goes into the computer to mess with the game. Then lightning strikes the game, strikes the connection to them. And they both get teleported in because the lightning mixed with upgrades, powers. They end up going into the virtual world. Yeah, that lightning was purple. So I was like, wait a minute. They were, even in episodes that have nothing to do with the arc, they're still foreshadowing that something is coming.
Yeah.
Because all the technology that Ghost Freak and the monsters use, creates purple lightning in the atmosphere.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's a really cool detail that you definitely wouldn't catch the first time, but it's just sprinkled in throughout the whole season.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we get to before I finish that, I need to talk about one other episode. It's the episode that reveals one of Max's girlfriends from the past. But she comes back. That's the alien with telekinesis and has the tentacles on her head and everything. So it turns out she was the one that was flying the ship with the Omnitrix. Like she was trying to get it away from Bill Gax, and she sent the pod to Earth to give it to Max.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was targeted. He targeted his DNA to get it to him because he's the most trusted human in the galaxy, basically. But then Ben got it because his DNA was close enough.
Yeah.
To Max. So Ben's over here having an existential crisis. Wait, I got all of this by mistake.
Yeah.
Which is that's just a crazy reveal out of nowhere that. It's not. It's kind of a one-off episode, but it's just you realize, oh, there was a lot more thought put into this than you thought originally. Also, that's the episode he gets Upchuck as an alien because there's a Vilgax robot that was with Xylene. They both crash landed and they were frozen. But then they woke up, and then the robot is regenerating, it's a prototype weapon or something that could just no matter how much you smashed it and tore it apart, it would regenerate nanotech kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then, so what's the solution to beat this unkillable robot that can heal anything? Eat it.
Yeah.
Literally, just eat it. Which is such a funny idea. Because Upchuck's species can basically digest anything in the galaxy, and then spit it up as a defense mechanism if it needs to. At this point in the series, you're like, what's the next alien going to be? The gimmicks keep getting weirder and weirder.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a funny inclusion. Which I actually got spoiled on Ben Wolf and Chuck because of the toys. That's something that is still a problem today. Is things get spoiled with merchandising.
Yeah.
Months before the episode or the movie come out, and it's I wish I didn't see that before I saw those episodes, but it made me theorize what the heck is Upchuck and Ben Wolf?
Yeah.
What are those things? What do they do? Okay, so do we want to say anything about that arc, or do we want?
I'm good.
Okay, I do want to mention one other thing. I forgot because the Charmcaster episode is really weird this season. This is the one where she has a spell that she can switch bodies with people with it, and she's going to switch bodies with Ben, so she gets the Omnitrix.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, goodness.
And then when she's trying to do it, she does the spell, but instead of it hitting Ben, it hits Gwen.
Mm-hmm. I remember that episode.
So they get switched. Charmcaster goes to, I think, juvenile hall because she's just a teenager there. But it's Gwen in her body, and then Charmcaster's in Gwen's body, plotting to do the spell over again and switch with Ben.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the episode because of Gwen being in Germcaster's body. She has access to all of her magical tools and everything. And she gets the spell book from her, and she keeps it.
Mm-hmm.
Then from here on out, that's when she becomes actually a magic user now.
Mm-hmm.
Not just powered by a keystone or something. She's actually learning skills and learning how to use it for later and practice with it. Okay, I think that's all the important stuff. But anything else I'll cover with my episode part. I'll go into that. So then we get to season 4, which might be the weirdest season in the entire show. Because there is technically an arc going on, but all the episodes don't really have anything to do with it, except the first episode and the last episode. But this is the one where it's the build-up of the Forever Knights, where we had an appearance of them in every season trying to do something, but then this is the one when it's revealed, the Enoch's not the leader. The Forever King is the leader, and he's going to personally deal with Ben and his family for stuff, thwarting their plans over and over again, which kind of annoys me because I'm like, Enoch is the villain that we know from the beginning with them. I understand not making him the overall lead of the Forever Knights, because it's an organization. There's different sects of it and everything, so there's different groups. So it's clearly he's in charge of this group of Forever Knights, but there's obviously other people in the organization. I wish Enoch was the Forever King. I wish that was an evolution of his character, because they introduce Forever King. He shows up in the end of episode 1, and then he comes in the finale, in the 2-parter. And he's assembled the -10, which is all of all these different villains from throughout the series working for him. I was just but it's weird because it's the same actor playing Enoch and the Forever King, and they're not the same character.
That's weird.
Yeah, I was minimal difference with the voice too. I was just and he's into a mech suit, a big mechanical suit, do the whole thing. So it's why not just make it Enoch? Maybe keep the plot line where his failures have ousted him from the organization. I think that works. That's an interesting idea. But then make him just go rogue and have his own plot, even without the organization. I don't know. I feel like Enoch is such a wasted character because he's got this cool look and intimidating voice and presence, and then he was just the lackey. Don't worry about him. We got the bigger guy now.
Yeah.
But that's the arc of season 4. Is it's that Forever King is assembling this group of villains from throughout the series. You get Dr. Animo, obviously, because he's shown up in every season. But then you get people like the bug guy from the sickness episode. You get the biker lady that fused with a robot. And then you get the circus freaks. I forgot, we didn't even mention Zombozo and the circus freaks. You get the circus freak trio. And anyways, builds out to 10 characters. 10 villains working together. Just this is such a cool idea because it's the Sinister Six with Spider-Man, that kind of thing. But I was if it was built up just a little bit and executed just slightly differently, I was this could have been my favorite arc. And I like it because it's taking all these villains that you've fought before, but they've never been that important, really, to the storyline. Where it's and most of them are human villains, where the show's mostly about aliens, but there's just humans with abilities and stuff too. And not to spoil too much, but there's the whole thing about the Forever Knights being against aliens. So it kind of makes sense that they have like a human group of villains going against someone with alien technology. So it, anyways, is a cool idea, but I think that they just tweaked it a little bit. It would have been really, really good. But this is also the season with Ditto's introduction and all the craziness. This is also when the movie happened, when Secret of the Omnitrix happened. So this season's actually shorter than the rest of them. Like the first 3 seasons have 13 episodes, but with this season, because it was the ending, because they had to do the movie, and because they were already getting ready to do Alien Force, so they were kind of like crunched a little bit. So they had 10 episodes, and they just did the Forever Night stuff, and then they had Dr. Animo, and a random wrestling episode, which is pretty fun. If you rewatch that one, it's actually pretty fun. But it's just one of those, like, there's just a whole lot of weird, like, just parts of things. But they're like, just ideas maybe they hadn't done yet that they wanted to do just before, while they were kind of rushing to the conclusion of everything. Which is a real big problem if you're doing a franchise when you want to move on to the next thing, but you need to make sure you like stick the landing too with the current series. That's another discussion, is what the actual ending of the show is kind of debatable, because you could say it's the -10 2-parter where they fight all the old villains and they beat them. That feels like a conclusion, kind of like a big finale. But then you have the movie where you go into space to find the creator of the Omnitrix, and you fight Vilgax one last time, and you learn all this crazy stuff about the Omnitrix and its purpose and everything. And I was like, well, that's kind of like a more satisfying finale, even though it's not really a finale. And the fact that it aired months before -10 did. So it's like you're kind of confused on what happened when and all that.
Yeah.
But this is, I mentioned Gwenton episode earlier, the What If episode.
Mm-hmm. There
is an episode in this, it's Goodbye and Good Riddance, I think is the name of it, which is kind of a weird title. But it's a what if, what if the summer ended? What if Ben and Gwen went back to school? And how do they, manage their lives now that everything's going back to normal?
Mm-hmm.
But then Vilgax shows up and, tries to destroy the whole hometown, basically.
Yeah.
Which is a really cool idea, and it's kind of a shame it's not, canon, technically, to the original, the actual series. Because you get this moment with Grandpa Max, dropping the kids off, drops off Gwen first and then Ben. But they have this exchange that always stuck with me, where Grandpa Max is like, the summer didn't end up the way I planned it, but I wouldn't have changed a single second of it.
Yeah.
I was like, man, that got me in the feels, This is it's kind of a shame we don't have that in the actual show. That's all I'm saying, is that would have been a nice way to end it.
Yeah.
Just them actually going home at the end.
Yeah.
Because you get every adventure has to come to a close. You got to get on the train to go home, Harry. That kind of thing. So minor critiques with that, but overall, I really like all the seasons, just for different things in each of them, and they all do good things. Just some of them do it better than others, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any thoughts, any questions about the arcs before we move on to the next bit?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think you did a really good job highlighting pretty much everything.
Well, I'm trying here. I'm just trying to get.
I'm just a man.
Just trying to get the main things out of the way.
Yeah.
because I don't want to spoil everything for people who watch this, maybe haven't seen the series.
Yeah.
I've had adults who haven't seen it, and they go and watch it, and they're like, oh, this is really cool. And
Yeah.
want them to discover it for themselves. So I think we can go ahead and do one more break, and then I'll finish up with the rest of the stuff. Does that sound good with you guys?
Sounds good.
You know, I've been talking a lot. I want to take
a drink.
Yeah. So we'll be back in just a few minutes, guys.
Okay.
Hello, welcome back. Thanks for sticking it out with us today. This has been a long one, but I promise this is the home stretch. So we're just got a few other things I want to mention. We've done the overall setup. We've done the plot. We've done characters and storylines. Now I'll just do some overall impressions that I had. Just some ending thoughts after rewatching the series. I was thinking about what is so unique about Ben 10. Like, if I'm gonna try to convince somebody to watch it, what are some things that I think are unique to this show, or at least to something you wouldn't see. You don't see stuff like this in many shows anyway. First thing, and the obvious answer, I think, is the Omnitrix, because it's a thing that ever since it came on to the screen, every kid wants one. If they've seen the show, they want an Omnitrix. They think it's an interesting idea because it's a way to do a superhero thing where you can have virtually any power. You just have to switch to the right character to use it in the right situation. And the fact that even though we do the Secret of the Omnitrix movie at the end of the series, supposedly the end of the series, where you meet the creator of the Omnitrix and you actually see schematics of it and everything, like when they look at it to try to stop it from self-destructing. It's like, even after you've looked at it so much, you still don't understand most of it. Like, most of it is still a mystery as to how it works. Is it technology? Is it actually an organism itself? Does it have an AI inside it? Like how does it work? Like this, just one of those mystery things that you don't really understand, but you understand enough to be interested in, to try to figure out alongside the characters how it works and what you need to use it for and everything. Other thing, kind of gone into it earlier, but the world building, where you have all these little things sprinkled in throughout the show that, like, you might think are insignificant at first, but they build to something bigger. Like the whole reveal with the plumbers, and then how that keeps going further and further, like how much there is to reveal about the organizations, like plumbers, and then Forever Knights they're still kind of mysterious throughout the whole first series. You don't explore them really deeply until later, but they still, like I said, plant seeds, make you think about things and like how all these storylines intersect with each other. And not only that, but then you got all the different aliens. So, all these aliens come from their own home world. Like, what do their home worlds look like? What do they use these abilities for? Just to live as beings on another planet. That's the kind of stuff that always fascinated me, and clearly the fandom itself just loves like alien worlds and how you adapt to something, how a creature would adapt to live there. And like, apparently Wildmutt's world is like completely dark, like no light, so that's why he doesn't have eyes, and he uses like sense of smell and hearing to find his way around. That's like just little things like that. There's little details that are so important with building a story and making you not only digest the story itself, but also think about the universe that the story takes place in. At least that's stuff I value from a writing perspective. That it makes you keep thinking even after the show's over.
Sorry, we've got some wild nuts going on
I know. That was pretty funny. That was good timing. So, in addition to the world building and everything, the unpredictability of the plot of this show is like second to none. I think because you understand the basic setup. They're on a road trip. He has an alien watch. There's going to be something weird happen in every episode, but you never know quite what you're going to get. Is it going to be hunting down like an alien that's escaped and then figure out, oh, the alien's actually the good guy and the humans hunting it are the bad guys, or or there's going to be a magician and he's got actual magic and he's trying to take over the world, and then there's just weird things you don't expect, like there's an episode where an AI goes rogue that is a weather machine that that tries to change the weather, like it was with this guy who was a forecaster. And it goes rogue to make the weather that he forecasts.
Some type of Sunny with meatballs type of scenario going on there.
Yeah, I was just like, the show can literally do anything, and it would make sense.
Yeah.
in their universe.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, yeah, just once you accept that, I think you'll have a good time with it. Even though not every episode's a winner, but like it's all worth watching once, I think, even if you don't love the episode. You'll see something you don't expect in it. It's then mentioned earlier, just the idea of the countrywide road trip is such a cool concept for the series, bonding with family that you don't see every day because Ben and Gwen live very different places in this series, and then they move closer later on. But in this series, they're all kind of isolated and they don't see Grandpa that often. So Grandpa's like, yeah, let's just take a summer trip spend time and bond with each other and survive a few near-death experiences with each other.
Best bonding there is.
Yeah, that's family, You just do everything together whenever it arises. But I did want to mention the concept of this show with the summer vacation and the road trip. It's kind of like Phineas and Ferb meets Scooby-Doo, because it's all about finding what are you going to do this day on the vacation, and then where are you going to be, what are you going to be doing, what crazy thing is going to happen that's unexpected. And then this traveling around the Rust Buckets, like in the Scooby Van, Mystery Machine, just figure out, oh, there's a mystery in this town. Let's try to figure out what the mystery is and figure out who's responsible for it and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just combining two cool ideas that are cool on their own and then putting them together. I just think it really works well.
And would this have been the same time as Phineas and Ferb or before?
It was about the same time, I think.
Before.
Yeah, I think maybe it was Alien Force whenever Phineas and Ferb came out. Alien Force might have been airing, but it's same era, so it makes sense that these kind of shows came out close to each other.
Yeah.
And then just the show was very creative with its the four guys making it and the writers and everybody. They really just experimented and they weren't afraid to do some weird things, but then they do crazy character designs and other worlds, other dimensions, and then that inspired me and a bunch of other people I know. There's whole YouTube channels that do Ben 10 lore and like their own alternate universe takes on it, which it's just a super cool fandom to be a part of. That I'm happy that I've found that there's so much bigger than I thought it was. Because I thought it was a niche thing, people who were kids when I was a kid would know about it and we'd reminisce about it. But no, there's so much more than I expected. I just think that's super cool that something this old is still that popular, and it's something that hasn't been like they did the reboot series a few years ago, which is a different continuity than this one,
Mhm.
and then that ended years ago, and then there's not been any show or anything since then for years now.
Mhm.
But I did want to mention the original creators, Men of Action, those artists, are coming back to do a comic book of Ben 10 next year.
That's
Okay.
cool.
So it's not in this continuity. It's a different. They're doing their own take on it, like a reboot kind of, but
Yeah.
like just
Comically.
yeah. So it's like the series that was inspired by comics through its whole inception is becoming a comic book.
Mhm.
That's like a cool full circle
Yeah,
thing.
because
that
there's no telling what could come from that comic book, you know.
yeah. And you don't know if they're gonna adapt things from the later series, might be introduced earlier. Or they just do something totally different. The way they described it is like it's gonna be like absolute Ben 10, which to the non-comic book people, absolute universe is a DC thing that they're doing right now, where they take a character and they remove like one pivotal thing about them and see how much the story changes. So it's like I was like, okay, that's a pretty interesting pitch for a new Ben 10 something.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't get to watch till he's a teenager or an adult or something, and then he has to figure it out. Just something elementally different like that.
Yeah.
Just if they did the adult thing, it'd be like, oh, it's like the kids that have grown up watching it. Now they're adults and they read the comic. It's like, oh, it's like just like me again. Like,
Yeah.
Mhm.
like what if I got the Omnitrix and I didn't know how to work it even as an adult? So it's like, you could do so much with the comic idea.
Mhm.
So I'm excited for that. Look forward to that next year. I don't know when exactly, but they just said 2026. So I was like, cool. Can't wait to see that. So the last takeaway is just I want to say kind of my theses about it anyway. Is the show kind of tells you basically a hero can be anybody, even a 10-year-old or just or your grandpa that you didn't know was like a secret agent, like military guy kind of. You didn't just like that's another thing. It's like just your family isn't always who you think they are,
Mhm.
but in like a cool way sometimes.
Yeah.
Like just like people have whole other lives that you don't know about that figure out. Oh, I didn't know you knew all this. And
Mhm.
Yeah, there's always more than meets the eye.
yeah, and then one never take your loved ones for granted. That's a big thing. And in the movie, there's the whole plot where it looks like Gwen gets killed,
Mhm.
and Ben going through like the dark night of the soul about it, and like realizing how much he cares about her. And
Mhm.
when she shows up in the finale, and he like runs and hugs her, and that really sweet moment, like
Mhm.
those kind of things. I just really appreciate that. This is kind of like life advice too. What the show teaches you is turning your adversity into an adventure. Because whenever they got into the roast bucket with Grandpa, they didn't know that the other cousin was coming because they didn't tell them.
Yeah.
So it's like this part of the person you don't like. You just need to get to know them better. Like you need to spend more time with them, and you figure out, oh, you're not so different than me, and
Mhm.
we can find similar things about us that,
Middle ground.
yeah, like that. And that goes into the idea of the Omnitrix and like Gwen's magic too, because when they're all learning things, like learning skills that they don't start off great with, like Ben's Omnitrix doesn't give him what he wants like 50% of the time,
Yeah.
and some of that's pilot error, I admit. Sometimes Ben's just an idiot, but but then Gwen's spells, like half the time they don't work at first when she tries them,
Mhm.
and then like, when they practice with these skills, with these abilities they're learning, it shows how much better they become by the end of the series.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that's just the whole thing, is that it's an obstacle right now, but if you just work with your family and your loved ones, it can be an adventure. It's not what you expect, but it can still be a good time, you know. And with the whole Omnitrix like not working thing, that I just think is really funny is that there's always another way to win than you first think whenever you are fighting, because Ben a lot of times tries to brute force it in a fight, like he goes forearms, he goes diamond head, like just to beat up the bad guy. But sometimes they have some kind of ability that like they're impervious to it or something, and then the Omnitrix turns him, oh, he's gray matter, oh, he's upgrade, you know, all these different aliens that are actually more well suited to the situation than Ben thinks at first. So that kind of goes into the idea. I'm like, I think that the device does have an AI in it where it's like it's helping him without telling him that it's helping him. Like,
hey, dummy, you shouldn't be using forearms here.
Yeah. But it's a very creative show, and it's creative in like all of its aspects. So it's like, even fighting evil, you should be creative. You should learn that not every skill works all the time. Sometimes you got to learn new skills. Sometimes you got to, you know. He's kind of a Swiss Army knife of a superhero because he has all these different things he can switch between. So he's like, yeah, use that. Don't just rely on one alien. Figure out that every alien has strengths and weaknesses, and you can figure out if you do that, it doesn't matter what you get when you turn into an alien. You can figure out how to win. Which I just think that's really cool. And I can't think of another show that did that like that well. That, you know, we had a lot of fantasy shows as kids where kids got powers and stuff, but it's like, yeah, but you get all the powers. You just have to figure out how to use them one by one, and then how to combo them whenever you got master control or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any closing thoughts you want to say? Any life lessons or anything you thought of, you know, because of the series?
No, I think you summed it up real well. Just that, you know, never taking your loved ones for granted. That's a really good message. And then I think that would probably be my biggest takeaway from the whole thing.
The dogs clearly have final thoughts too.
Yeah.
Taylor, do you have anything you want to add? Or? Okay. So now we'll move on to the last segment. I promise it's the last one. I know this is a big video. I didn't want to.
You gotta do it right.
I didn't want to cheap out on it, you know. So I'm just going to do some episode highlights that I did. Like, I got a top 10 because, of course, with this show, I've got to do a top 10 episodes. Yeah. But this show is so good, I can't just do a top 10. I have to do honorable mentions.
Gotcha.
Because if I really love a show, I just can't do top 10s. Like, there's so many good episodes. I'm like, it just kills me to do that little. I'm like, no, you gotta highlight as many of them as I can that I think are great. Like with that Ed and Eddie, the big video I did for them, I did top 25 just because I had so many that I loved.
Well, there's so many episodes too.
Yeah,
and they're all good in their own right.
Yeah, and just keep in mind this is all personal opinion. So if you guys don't agree with it, it's fine. Just share your thoughts in the comments and tell me what episodes you like or some we didn't talk about that you think should be highlighted. But let's get into honorable mentions. First one is Perfect Day, which is the first episode of season 4, which is a Forever Night plot spoiler, because that's Ben wakes up and everything that happens that day just goes smoothly, weirdly smoothly. Like he beats up aliens without any difficulty. He gets to play a sumo slammer game early.
Gwen compliments him.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And like, he's a 10-year-old, so he's not thinking that something's off here.
Yeah.
But then you figure out the real real Gwen and Grandpa come in. You can figure out he's in a dream world, basically, where Forever Knight's put him under in this dream machine. It's like a perfect world for him, so he'd distract him long enough so they could get the Omnitrix off of him. That's just a cool idea. I always love trippy stuff like that, where you go into dreams and that kind of thing. But then Enoch is revealed to be behind it, and he starts like twisting the dream world to attack Ben in his dream. I was like, this is like Enoch's best episode, I think, because like it's not real world technically, but Ben knows the truth now. He has to stop him from waking up too early before the procedure is done, and then we get to Ben finally clicks. Oh wait, this is a dream world. I can control it now.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's always cool when they do that in a dream scenario episode. But yeah, it's the last great hurrah of Enoch, and then he gets replaced by the Forever King. I was like, well, that's annoying. After you showed how cool he could be, and then, nope. Moving on, we did mention it briefly earlier, Game Over. This is the episode where Ben and Gwen are playing Sumo Slammer video game, and then Ben turns into Upgrade to cheat and goes into the computer, and then they accidentally get transported into the actual game. And a similar concept to Perfect Day a little bit, but I like virtual world stuff too, like everything from Tron, Code Lyoko, like all those different series where characters go into the digital world. I was like, this is just cool. That it's like, I always thought Sumo Slammers was kind of a cool idea that the series came up with.
Yeah.
So seeing him actually play the game as in person and everything, and seeing like sumo versions of his aliens, I was like, that's really neat. That's a cool idea. So then the next one, I kind of will split it between two episodes, but it's just the What If episodes. Because of Gwen 10 is super interesting. And I didn't mention that in Gwen 10, when it ends, like after they fight Vilgax, Grandpa Max actually gets the Omnitrix, like it originally was intended.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a crazy thought when you put that all together, that's actually what was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
But then you have the one where they go back to school and fight Vilgax one last time, and Ben's identity is revealed as the hero. So that I think that's such a cool idea. Like if they had ended the series, if they'd actually did that, where his whole town knows he's the hero that's been saving people all summer, and he finally gets revenge on his bullies, and they know it's him doing it that time.
Yeah.
So that was cool anyway. Really briefly, The Last Laugh. This is the episode with Zombozo and the Circus Freaks. Which, were you guys ever afraid of clowns in your life?
No, I've never really had that issue.
Okay. I was just curious. I don't know how common of a fear that is, but I know some kids are just terrified of clowns.
Yeah.
So I thought that's an interesting idea to give Ben a villain that is exactly what he fears the most.
Yeah.
And not only is he a clown, he's also got supernatural powers and everything. Mm-hmm. The whole episode kind of feels like a Pennywise reference, kind of. Because at one point he even turns into a giant spider with his face on it and everything. So I was like, probably an It reference there.
Yeah.
But really simple, and it does have Ghost Freak's, I think, best moment. It's whenever he pulls him out, and he actually scares Zombozo to death with Ghost Freak, which I thought was really cool. Death, ? I don't know if he's even human, so it's I don't know if because he comes back later on in the franchise. I'm like, okay, I don't know if he died there or if he just got scared away or something. But anyways, super cool. And last honorable mention, and it pains me that this didn't make the top 10, but Ben 10 versus the negative 10. Which I'm like, this potentially could have been the best episode entirely because you got 10 villains that we know from across all the seasons of the show that show up, and none of them are like as heavy hitters as like the main villains, but the fact that there's 10 of them all coming at him at once is such a cool idea. And then the Forever King stuff is okay, and I did like that the Forever King was an ex-plumber. I thought that was actually a pretty cool reveal. But I was like, you still could have done that with Enoch. He wore a mask the whole time. Could have been somebody that Max knew from his past, but coming back as a villain. Anyways, on to the main events. And some people might be kind of annoyed because I kind of put episodes together in this, but it's not like one episode necessarily. But pretty simple. The pilot, the very first episode, I think it's really good introduction. You get the purpose, the point of the show immediately. Then the next one we have The Visitor, which is in season 3. That's the Xylene episode where you get the reveal about the Omnitrix and then you get Upchuck as an alien. So it's just like very plot relevant, very interesting expansion there. Then I'll go on to the Purple Lightning arc. I just put the ending 2-parter as one because it's one episode really, just 2 parts. But Ghost Freak, super crazy, probably the scariest villain in the show, I think, because he's like the scariest alien in the group, and then he escapes and becomes a villain, so it's like a nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
And he has the whole monster mash with him, with the werewolf and the mummy and the Frankenstein alien. That's just a really cool idea. Did you guys ever see the movie Monster Squad from the 80s?
I have not, no.
It's kind of like the premise is kind of like the Goonies versus the Universal Monsters.
Okay.
Kind of. Where there's just all these classic monsters team up and kids have to take them down. So that's kind of what this reminds me of, just the kids teaming up against the monsters and figuring out how to beat them. But then we get what I call the Kevin trilogy. Is the next one. You get the first episode where he's just a crazy kid with mutant powers or unexplained powers that he can absorb energy, and then grabs the watch. Then you realize, he can absorb the watch's energy and get some of Ben's powers from it. Which I'm like, that's a crazy idea. And then you realize, he got all of his powers. I'm like, this is bad. Comes back and he's trying to frame Ben for everything that he did, and just like the most revenge arc of the show, I think, is his arc. Just we try to be friends, but we're not friends, so we're gonna be like bitter rivals with each other. And then it ends with the Space Gladiator episode where they're fighting and they both get kidnapped onto the alien ship where they have to fight all these robots and aliens and stuff. I'm a sucker for Space Gladiator stuff. Like Planet Hulk's one of my favorite storylines, and that's where Hulk gets put on an alien planet and has to do that. Pretty cool. And this one, really simple. It's part of the Purple Lightning arc, but it's my best episode in my opinion. Ben Wolf, because I like the setting. It's in the New Mexico desert. It all takes place at night nearly, and then you're hunting a werewolf, trying to figure out what the werewolf is doing. And while this is happening, Ben got slashed by the wolf, but it slashed the Omnitrix, and he's slowly transforming into the wolf. but you think it's a werewolf, so you think that he's actually being turned into a werewolf, like in like a traditional one. But then the twist is, oh, it's an alien, and it absorbed the alien DNA, and it's giving him a new alien form because of it. Which I was like, that's such a cool idea, like a cool twist on a werewolf story that fits perfectly with this universe, I think. Just that a lot of things that we've seen in the past may have been aliens from, like in our history. So it's like, oh, that's just a neat way of tying it into folklore we're all familiar with. So I just want to say Ben Wolf is probably my favorite of the Halloween aliens, because you combine basically a werewolf with a predator, because he's got the like claws and everything, but then his mouth splits open into four mandibles like a predator, and he's got the sonic scream power, which I've always thought like sound powers are really cool with that. So it's like just a bunch of things I like is one alien like that. So it's pretty cool in my book. Now we move on to I had to put Dr. Animo on the list. Dr. Animo and the Mutant Ray, which sounds like a 50s B movie.
Yeah.
But it's when Ben, being Ben, breaks the Omnitrix and the faceplate comes off. And then Dr. Animo sees that has his alien DNA in it, and it mutates like animals that touch it. And he's like, I can use this. And then Ben tries to fight back, but because of that missing piece of the watch, when he transforms, he turns into combination aliens. Where you get Stinkfly and Forearms, you get Diamond Head and Gray Matter, and you get Heat Blast and Ripjaws. It just seemed like every transformation it just got worse. Even trying to use the fusion thing. But that episode's really important because that's when the fandom went crazy. They're like, we can fuse aliens now.
Yeah.
Like they're opening the doorway that you can do that with the Omnitrix. And they even had a web game that I played a lot where each of the like toys would have a DNA code when you bought it. You could get the DNA code from their card, that comes with it. And you plug that into the machine on the game, and you put the two DNA signatures in there, and then it would make like an official artwork of those two aliens together. And then you could print it and stuff. I was like, I was like, that's such a cool idea that just, like I was saying about creativity earlier, that just really helped the fandom expand even further with what they could do. So I just appreciate it on that level. Okay, next one. This is kind of unexpected, probably. So I'm doing the episode where Vilgax comes after the Omnitrix, the first one, season 1 finale. So you're expecting that, but I'm actually adding the episode right after that on to season 2 premiere, which that's the one where you get Max's old partner as a character, and they reveal that they work together as plumbers to put aliens into the null void. And then that's when you realize he's actually
letting them out.
Yeah, he's actually a bad guy too. Like you might not think that those fit perfectly well together, but when you think about it, like the end of the Vilgax episode, Secrets, it's literally Grandpa, we need to talk. And then the next one actually starts with a flashback of Max and Phil working against fighting Vilgax in their prime. So it's like a perfect 1-2 punch of episodes where you see all the crazy present day stuff, and then you see the backstory of it, and you get a new antagonist too. And you introduce the null void, so that's really important for later on that season. Hello, this is your new friend Future ZBH here. just gonna correct an omission that the original ZBH made. Yeah, the number 3 on his list, it's Ben 10,000 and Ken 10. Somehow he skipped over that in the review. I'm not sure how that happened. I guess he was probably just tired at that point. But yeah, Ben 10,000, Ken 10 would be in between number 4, number 2. And yeah, I just wanted to say that I love those episodes. I like what they do with Ben as a character, as the number 1 hero in the future. And Gwen is awesome in the future too, and seeing them interact with their past selves and future grandpa and all the future villains, really cool. And then Ken 10, it's so cool to see Ben as a parent, trying to raise his son and trying to teach him right. And anyways, great episodes, just wanted to throw that in there. I forgot that, so my bad. I'm covering for my past self here, so I'll try to do my best. And now back to the review. Okay, and we're getting down to the wire. We have Back with a Vengeance, which I mentioned earlier, which was my number 1. I really thought it was going to be my number 1 going into this, because it's a really simple concept. Kevin and Vilgax team up to take out Ben. I was like, okay, I'm sold. That's like the whole show, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But I've gone into why I love that episode, so I won't spend much time on it. Just wanted to say that's where I list it on my own list. And people might get mad at me for my number 1 pick because it's kind of cheating, but Secret of the Omnitrix. Because it's technically a 3-part episode. Like on streaming, if you watch it on streaming now, they split it into 3 episodes. It's part 1, part 2, part 3. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, so it counts technically. Like, so I'm not totally copping out saying the movie.
Yeah.
Because it really is 3 episodes just stitched together, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But folks, tell me what I think. How wrong am I? How much do my opinions suck? Please let me know. And let me know if I missed any really big, important episodes that you think are vital. So, because I always like to have those discussions with people. Do you guys have any other episodes you want to highlight that you maybe just haven't had a chance to yet?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
Just Tor's Trap. Tor's Trap, that's one of the best ones. It doesn't fit into the storyline as a long-standing arc or anything, but it's just a funny episode.
Yeah. So is that an episode you'd recommend somebody who hasn't seen the show? Like, say this is how.
I would say I'd say you could. It's got all elements of the show in there, but
it relies really the storyline, so it's like something they could just watch.
Yeah, it just kind of shows a lot of the humor throughout that episode.
Yeah. Okay, do we have any other thoughts we want to get out about the original Ben 10 series?
Watch it.
Not for me.
It holds up. 20 years, I still think it holds up.
Yep, I agree.
We'll be back 20 more years from now.
Oh, no.
Please don't.
No.
Is that it?
I'm just going to do a sign off right quick. But guys, thanks for watching with us and talking about Ben 10 for 2 hours at this point. But we wanted to go big since it's 20 years, and the show obviously meant a lot to us as kids, and we gained a little bit more appreciation as adults, so we wanted to share that with you guys and the fandom in general. And if you like this video, please tell us if you want us to continue. If you want us to do, like, next holiday season, we could do Alien Force or something. Mm-hmm. I promise I'll give you guys more time to do the rewatch. I'm sorry that it was kind of last minute. But now you still got stuff to look forward to now.
Absolutely.
There's more to watch and enjoy.
Yeah. So thanks for being with us, everybody. Happy holidays. Hug your family in close, because it's that kind of show. We'll see you next time.
Ta-ta.
See ya.
A Cartoon Network original series, Ben 10 Alien Force. The future is here. Will you be a part of it?
I'm in a bit of a situation.
Maybe you can find Max and save your planet.
I can't do it without Grandpa.
You are Ben Tennyson. Destroy evil.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Ben 10 Alien Force. Go full force. Only on Cartoon Network.